Well, good afternoon, friends. How are you? Hopefully, everybody's doing well on this pretty good day. A little bit maybe overcast in Edmonton area here, or at least in Sherwood Park, where I am anyway. But yeah, it's been a good day. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to another rendition of Conversations with Dune and Friends. Today, we have a wonderful friend joining us for the hour here during the lunch hour here in the Edmonton area. Um, we have TC Lopez joining us. TC is an Edmonton entrepreneur, and I'm a new mother, so she's been an entrepreneur for a number of years, and beginning her successful makeup enterprise in 2016, and has had a good run with that, and transitioned out of the business community, and of course focusing on the newborn baby there as a new mother, but really remains quite active in the Edmonton area as a thought leader and as a contributor. Her motivation for helping the less fortunate children throughout, Edmonton, continues to inspire others in the community. She really is a community-minded individual. So again, TC successfully proves that small ideas can have a strong impact and allow you to sort of reach your goals through the network that you have and the people that you spend time with. So I would like to welcome TC. TC, I'm going to bring you on here. I'm going to welcome TC, and hopefully you can hear me from the green room there and coming on stage here. How are
Hey,
you
Dune.
today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, 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 good. So welcome. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
just put myself on the other side here, so I'll be right back. So there you are, right in the kind of
Yes.
left corner there. People look from left to right. We want you to be featured there. And at times I will be disappearing into a smaller portion of the screen there. Welcome, and thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for joining us. Uh, your thoughts, any sort of starting thought as we get into this hour-long conversation?
Starting thoughts.
Yeah.
I
What
think
comes
this
to
is,
mind? What came to mind as you woke up this morning? You're thinking what?
I was really excited. I was kind of nervous because I've never done an interview one on one before.
Yeah.
Typically, it's more like a podcast, I guess,
Yeah.
which I enjoy because I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Hmm.
But I was really nervous because being out of the speaking world and in the business world for the past, I'd say, 8 months has really chipped off some of me, and but at the same time I was really excited, and more so excited to share stories, so I'm
Hmm.
excited. Yeah.
Wonderful. Hey, TC, a reminder, if
Yes.
you go to the public tab on your top there, you can
Yeah.
see some comments already coming in. I
Oh,
see a comment here, and I'm featuring it on screen. You might know Fini. Do you recognize the name? But just saying hello
no,
there.
I
Yeah.
no, I don't.
You have a new fan there, and we have a friend.
Yeah.
We have a friend here, my friend Tony Rufo. Tony Rufo says you have a supermodel on the show today. I do, Tony. I have.
Thank you, Tony. That is so kind.
Yeah. So Tony is a fellow musician, and yeah. So a little bit excited and a little bit kind of different experience. Yeah, we'll have fun for the whole hour. We'll show some photos. We'll talk about entrepreneurship. We'll talk about new motherhood, the experience, and sort of some of the insights and some of the lessons you're gaining from there, and also
Mm,
about community and really helping others who are less fortunate. And anything
mhm.
else that you want to talk about, we can certainly go there as well.
Sounds good.
So tell us, beyond the bio that I have shared with the audience, hopefully you can hear me out there, Tony. Tony, let me know if TC's volume is about the same as mine. Let me know if I'm too loud. So tell us, back to the story, maybe a bit of a deeper history. You were born in Edmonton, I presume, or no?
Yes, I was born in Edmonton, and basically raised in Edmonton,
Hmm.
and then we moved to Calgary for a year for my mother's job, but I
Hmm.
was so young. And then after around high school, I moved to the States
Hmm.
because my mom wanted to work over there, and I really followed her because my dad had retired in Asia.
Mhm.
But then I found that my calling wasn't in at Los Angeles, so I
Mhm.
actually moved back to Edmonton.
Mhm.
And at that time, I just finished interior design school and I was an interior designer.
Mhm.
And then coming back, I was just kind of lost in Edmonton. So I wanted to move back to Los Angeles. But then I met my husband.
Mhm.
And then I stayed. And for the future, it looks like we'll be staying here at Edmonton. I mean, I know you were here in Edmonton as well, right? Because I
You bet.
remember,
Yeah.
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 And then now you're in Sherwood Park.
Yeah, yeah. I've been in Sherwood Park. My wife and I built a house out in an acreage here about 16 years ago. So yeah,
Oh,
we've been in
wow.
Sherwood Park for a while and quite enjoy it. Quite enjoy it. Now, just for our viewers and listeners out there, if you hear some background noise that sounds like old-fashioned film kind of film rolling, that would be the yard work that's being done on TC's
Yeah,
new house.
landscaping.
Landscaping work. So yeah. So you born in Edmonton and lived in California for a while, and I assume you might have gone to Vietnam at one point to visit, or not yet?
I have, and I went back just before I got married.
Hmm.
And way back when I was a child, and I absolutely love it. As my dad lives there right now with
Hmm.
his wife, and it's great. We get to I got to show my husband the culture. I got to return back to my roots and really
Hmm.
understand the language again because it's so different, and
Hmm.
it really makes me appreciate because I don't live with my parents here, so we don't speak Vietnamese every day. I don't eat
Hmm.
Vietnamese food every day.
Yeah.
It really makes me appreciate where I came from and what my parents have showed me. So it
Hmm.
really makes me proud of where I came from. And even being connected to the Vietnamese community as yourself,
Hmm.
it makes me really excited because it reminds me that, hey, I'm not just a Canadian born, I'm Canadian born Vietnamese. And
Yeah.
I can show everybody my roots and where, and what made myself and how I am today.
Wonderful. It's always important for us to reach in both direction, reach into where we are today in Canada and reach into the future, but also to remember our roots. And I know in recent years, when I've been spending more time with the Vietnamese community, it has been quite enriching to be sort of more connected there. So appreciate you sharing that. Now you see some names and faces and comments on your screen there. Even if you look at the main screen, yeah, do you recognize that name there that's on that towel?
Oh, Tao, yes, yes. Also, one of my Vietnamese friends, way back when we would have, our families would gather together, and then they'd have to drink beer, and then the moms would kind of gossip, and then the kids would play
Yeah,
downstairs in the basement. She was one of those friends, and I
yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
for you watching Tao. That's
Yeah.
great.
So so feel free, Tao and others, Tony and Finney and others who are watching, if you ask questions along the way, we can certainly have TC respond to your questions and, yeah, interact with us throughout the whole hour here. So TC, how would you compare, how long did you live in the US, like in California? Was it a few years or?
Oh no, not long at all. Like,
Mhm.
I did not last long there because I was so young and I left all my friends behind. And
Mhm.
I not only I had nothing basically. I just finished high school and I I had no friends. I had no job, so I was basically just at home because I couldn't
Mhm.
work at that time because you would need a green card and you would
Mhm.
need so much more paperwork in order to do anything, even drive.
Mhm.
So, just basically like a month or so
Yeah.
when I moved down there with my mom, and then
Mhm.
I packed everything I had and I left and came back to Edmonton. And then my sister is actually here at Edmonton. One is in Calgary, so I
Mhm.
moved back with my sister,
Mhm.
Josephine,
Yeah.
and basically Uh, she helped me grow because as a teen
Mhm.
you're rebellious, you're trying to find yourself, and she was a really big part of my life at that age.
Mhm.
So I really appreciate her and my other sister, Teresa.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us, before you got into your business there, entrepreneurship, what was your preoccupation before that? So before you launched the business there, maybe share a bit of that and some insights that you gained from that segment of your life prior to entrepreneurship. Or have you always been an entrepreneur?
You know, being so young when I and being so lost, I think from the age of, 16, you really wanted to 18, you really want to figure out what you want to do, right? Like, this is where people are trying to figure out what they want to do in school. This is
Hmm.
what they want to figure out, what their next steps are, how they're going to make a living, if they're going to stay home, if they're going to move out. And I really had no idea. And I went to school for being an interior designer
Hmm.
because I thought I had a talent in it and I thought that I would enjoy it. So I
Hmm.
went to school for interior design and then I found out that, hey, this is a lot harder in Edmonton than it is anywhere else because,
Hmm.
one, a lot of Edmontonians don't really um, hire interior designers unless they're extremely filthy rich.
Hmm. Hmm.
And two, I was 19, 20, and nobody seemed to trust me.
Hmm.
So I had a baby face, and it was really hard to do business. And you know, more so, I was getting used than actually being able to work. People were
Hmm.
taking advantage of me because I was so young.
Hmm.
And then I always knew that it sounds so cheesy, but you always know you want to work for yourself.
Hmm.
Everybody says that. Everybody says, I want to work for myself. And um, I knew that I worked better for myself than having people tell me what to do.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just the stubborn me. I don't know.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But I then had no idea. And the story behind this was that actually I worked for a company here in Edmonton as a interior designer, and they stole my work. And without any, um, credit or pay, they stole my work.
Hmm.
And I called my boyfriend at the time, which is now my husband, and I
Hmm.
started crying and crying and crying in the car. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I want to quit. And
Hmm.
without, I had bills. I still had to live. And at this time, I
Hmm.
moved out already.
Hmm.
And my husband goes to me, okay, just take this slow. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Just take it one day at a time. We just have to figure this out, financials and everything.
Hmm.
And before he said that, I said, uh-oh. And he said, what? I said, I already sent the email in saying I quit.
Hmm.
And he goes, oh my gosh. Um, and he says, what do you want to do now? And I said, I want to become a makeup artist.
Hmm.
And it's hard, starting a company from the bottom, especially you don't know anything about it. And he
Hmm.
said, okay, we're going to do that. So the very next day, next thing you know, I was set up for courses. I was setting up my kit. I was doing research. I was doing everything I could to start this business.
Hmm.
And so I would say I never knew that I would start my own business as a young adult. I always thought that, hey, I'm going to work for somebody and eventually, when I have family, open up my own business, like who knows, like a restaurant, a cafe.
Hmm.
But I started it early because I believe that I had a good support system
Hmm.
and I put my whole heart into it. Like I didn't just say, I'm going to start it today, I'm going to start one step at a time. I just went straight for it. So if
All
you're
in.
asking me, yeah, exactly. When you're asking me, did you always knew you were going to be an entrepreneur? Absolutely not.
Hmm.
Because being an entrepreneur, there's so much more than just working for yourself. There's
Hmm.
the hardships, it's the time, there's the money that you have to put into it. So I kind of jumped into it with 2 feet and it worked out. So I was
Yeah.
very lucky.
Yeah. And I'm sure it also developed you as a person through all the hardship and the trial and obviously victory along the way and some more losses along the way. I
Hmm.
certainly have lost my fair share of money owning businesses, so I understand. So yeah, I'm sure entrepreneurship is sort of benefiting you in many ways beyond just the
It
financial
is.
aspects.
It is. And, you're right. It has made me who I am today because nobody understands unless you're an entrepreneur yourself, how
Mhm.
much you lose. Yes, money is important, but money always comes back, you know? You
Mhm.
lose you learn so many valuable lessons from losing, you know, sometimes
Mhm.
in negotiations, or sometimes you lose, for example, a mistake that you've made.
Mhm.
Um, but you learn so much from that, and
Mhm.
each time it kind of humbles you. So that's what I
Mhm.
love about being an entrepreneur, is that if done right, you know, it can really show that, hey, I can do this, but at the same time, it humbles you, saying, take a step down, you know.
Yeah, you bet. It's
Oh, I love this photo.
yeah. Let me start with a series of photos, and I'm going to take my.
Yeah.
I'll just reposition so it's on the left side. So give me a. All right. So with this mode, we can kind of do this, right? And so, yeah, tell us about this photo. This might be entrepreneurship related, hey?
Yes, yes. So this is one of my favorite photos. I remember that day walking into that show home and event, and being so incredibly proud of myself. And it's
Mhm.
okay to say that, you know, you're proud of yourself,
Yeah.
because I can say that because I've gone through so much to get to that point. So this photo is me in a magazine, and this magazine is Top 100 Women to Do Business With in Edmonton.
Wow. Say that
So
again, nice and slow, so I can hear it. So say that
I'm
again.
getting excited.
Yeah,
Sorry.
good.
Um, so this photo is me in a magazine,
Hmm.
for the top 100 women to do business with in Edmonton.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, I never dreamed I would be here. So one day I was just sitting in my desk and I was getting work done, and I get this email, and this woman says, "I'd love to meet with you. It's to be in a magazine." And I just thought, oh, maybe this is a modeling gig, because I used to model a lot,
Mhm.
um, during my spare time, as like a second job kind of deal.
Yeah.
And she she said, I would love to talk to you about makeup. And I was like, oh, maybe she's asking me to do makeup. And one
Mhm.
day she sat me down at a diner in Edmonton, and she said, we've gotten some people who have nominated you and who have done business with you, and we've done our research that your company has been successful and you have been a leader in Edmonton. We'd love to feature you in our magazine.
Mhm.
And so I obviously said yes,
Mhm.
and I've met amazing women throughout this whole entire process and magazine. I'm not sure if you heard of the No Book, but that's what it's called. It's Women
Mhm.
to Know in Edmonton, and it's in Kelowna, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver,
Mhm.
and I think Toronto as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Um, and yes, Tony was right. I was a model. um,
Tony, you must have the inside track here. You were correct, my friend, 100% correct.
um, and not only was I sorry, I'm getting sidetracked now. Featured in 100 Women to do business with, but we also sponsored that magazine and did makeup for all the women in there. Um, and it's great to be part of this book, because this book also gives back to the community, which is really important to what I believe in and stand for.
Mhm.
So they give back to women's shelters and to breast cancer associations, things like that.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go to the next photo. It's somewhat in random order, so we're going to jump back and forth, and that's
Sure.
okay. That's part of the fun. It's a bit of a. Tell us about this.
All right. So this one's for you, Tony. Um, so this was me modeling one of our photos for photos, and you know, how I really started off modeling was through a friend called Nick Fan. I'm not sure if you know him, Dune. Have you heard of Nick
Hmm.
Fan?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
photographer. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Every
yeah,
time I see him,
exactly.
he has this big long lens on his
Yeah,
camera. Absolutely.
he's all about the good vibes. He's all about you know, really community work and also giving back.
Hmm.
Kindest man I've met. And his wife Kelly, I love her. She does my sister and I's nails, and she's so sweet. I love her.
Mhm.
But how I got into that was um, once again being a lost teen. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a model, and every girl thinks says that I'm gonna be a model. So
Yeah, but you pulled it off though, right?
I
You
did.
actually did it.
The first like year or so was just friends taking photos of me, not a big deal. And then eventually, it got more serious when I turned. Oh, sorry, if you hear that snorting, that's my dog. Um, my dog snorts. um, uh, and then it started to get more serious when I started to become into the makeup world. When photographers would be like, "Hey, like I think you'd be great in this look. Would you like to model?" And then I eventually started getting paid for it, and then I started getting scouted for. So uh, it 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 really was like a tumbling effect, and it
Mhm.
got bigger and bigger. And then I don't know if you see a couple photos there, June, but I also was in pageants. So
Mm.
that really kicked off my modeling career.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
A
say it
bit of
was serious.
attitude in this one, hey?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit more attitude. I can be sassy.
Yeah.
It wasn't serious. Like I didn't think that I would continue this for a very long time. And I knew that one day modeling would not last
Mhm.
like my whole life. And
Mhm.
I never really depended on it, but it was a part of my identity because it really made me feel confident,
Yeah.
and it made me really meet people who I really appreciate and who are a big part of my life now in the makeup community and in the business industry. So it wasn't just for fun or money; it was also to meet people and to build my confidence, I would say.
Absolutely. I think we get what we get out of the world. The world has all kinds of things to offer, and sometimes some of the most exciting opportunities don't look that appealing. So if we have that view or that perspective, looking for opportunity to grow, I think we can grow in any situation. And it
Exactly.
sounds like you've done that. Now tell us
Yeah.
about this handsome young man here, and tell us about this photo.
So that is my handsome and kind and loving and smart husband. Um, Let me tell you, I cannot appreciate him enough. So
Tell us his
from
name.
his name is Jobin. Oh, sorry, I'm hiding it from all the
Yeah,
ladies.
you bet. Yeah.
Yeah. um, his name is Jobin, and I'm gonna be completely flat out honest here. Um, when I was from the age of 16 to 19, I was not a fun person to be around, June.
Mhm.
Um, I was very negative, pessimistic. I was very down on myself, and I was very, uh, let's just say, not the brightest star you'd like to be around. So you
Mhm.
would prefer somebody else's energy over mine.
Mhm, mhm.
And I don't know what Jobin saw in me, but Jobin stuck around and he helped me build myself from 0 to 100 over and over again. Um, and it was a really rough start because in my past, I had a very abusive relationship,
Mhm.
very abusive, and it gave me extreme PTSD, extreme depression, and Jobin stuck with me through all of it, and he built this empire with me, my makeup empire. Oh, and that's my baby if you hear him.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, he built my makeup empire with me. He built this family with me, and he built myself to the confident, strong, and independent woman I am today. So we met in 2016.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2016. And then we were dating and then got engaged in 2017,
Mhm.
I believe. Yeah. And then got married in 2018.
Mhm.
So we've been married for 2 years now, a little bit over 2 years. And
Mhm.
time together has been the best of my entire life. And you
Mhm.
should probably understand that because you're also married with 2 kids, I believe, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I, and for some people, happiness is different things. And I believe that growing up, my happiness was always having a family, having a husband, having children. So that was
Mhm.
my vocation and calling.
Mhm.
And I was able to find that. So I'm extremely lucky.
Yes. Now, so does he come in what is it, shining armor and all of that? Sounds like a pretty fantastic gentleman there. And here
Yes.
you are in Paris, I would imagine.
Yeah. So, oh, hi, Kendra. Thank you so much. Aw. So, I actually want to talk about Kendra a little bit. Do you mind if I talk
Absolutely,
about Kendra?
Kendra. Yeah. So listen, Kendra, TC is going to talk about you now.
So, Kendra is actually one of my good friends, and I met Kendra through the modeling industry. So, she modeled while I did her makeup. And uh, one day I just thought, wow, this girl is so kind. She is so beautiful. And well, she got into makeup. And one day I was like, wow, her work is amazing. And I said, Kendra, would you like to work for us? And she
Hmm.
said, yes.
Hmm.
Kendra and her support system, her sisters, her family are also all amazing.
Hmm.
And when I found out that I was pregnant and I was stepping down from the business world, I asked Kendra to take over.
Hmm.
And she did. And she's been doing an amazing job making a difference in the community and always staying positive. So Kendra is basically, if I would choose somebody to be beside me to do business again, or to even have around as a good vibe, that would be Kendra. So thank you for listening, Kendra.
That is awesome. Kendra, congratulations and thank you for carrying on what TC has built in the early days. I know a business can be very personal and a business can become a part of you. And to have somebody, a trusted person like in Kendra, where you can hand off to and know that it will be in good hand is a very heartwarming phenomenon. So thank you, Kendra. Appreciate it.
Oh, so this photo.
Yes.
Um, so this photo, I've never thought I would travel to Europe. To be quite honest with you, my personality, I would prefer Mexico or Asia, somewhere tropical. On the beach and having a pina colada or having a coconut.
Hmm.
So I've traveled all around the world. I've traveled to Mexico, all over the states, New York, LA, Cancun, Thailand, Japan, Vietnam,
Hmm.
and I I really didn't want to take a step forward to Europe for some reason because I thought that it would be too much work and it wouldn't be relaxing.
Hmm.
And then my husband was like, you know what? You need to do something different. He's always trying to uh, basically push my boundaries, and he's trying in a good way,
Hmm. Hmm.
not in a way to push my buttons, but he's always trying to show me more than what I want to be comfortable with. And he
Hmm.
said, we're going to Europe for a honeymoon.
Hmm.
And I said to him, like, really? Like, we can go to Thailand. It's so much cheaper. Like, you can get mangoes for like 10 cents.
Thinking like a true entrepreneurial
Yeah.
spirit there. Yeah.
Um, so, and he said, no, we're doing it. So he booked the flights, and I was like, okay, like, here it goes. And me and my husband, we traveled so differently than you would travel in Asia. In Asia, you'd have these nice hotels because they were cheap, but we
Hmm.
hosteled every single city, and some hostels were god awful. Like, they were just awful. But each day we would share a single bed, and we would have the most amazing time. And what Europe has really taught me is that, you know, appreciation for where we live, because not only do you see such poverty and such wealth and busyness, and people there really don't have time to slow down. So here in Canada, when I'm like, I'm so busy, I can't slow down, I have a family, I have a business, I have this, I had that, back then really it was not as bad as back then in Europe, when people work, and they work so much harder than they do here for where they're affording to live and everything like that. So it really makes you appreciate what we
Hmm.
have here in Edmonton. And I think about that trip all the time, and I think, wow, like, for people work so hard for a loaf of bread there, or just to pay rent there, and it's tough. It's a tough life. On all the photos you see people living life in Europe and all glamorous, but it really isn't like that. So I'm
Hmm.
really glad I got to see that part of Europe.
Hmm. Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you as well for bringing out the insights and lessons and reflections from your stories. I really appreciate that. And so, yeah, that's a beautiful sort of Eiffel Tower in the back as well. Tell us the story behind this.
Food. Food is the story behind this tune.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I am in love with food.
Mm.
don't get. I am no five-star chef, nor am I a food connoisseur. I just love food,
Mhm,
and anyone could ask, and I'm always either having a snack in hand, or when I'm at someone's house, I'm always like, "Pantry, where's your pantry?"
mhm,
Um, but during my free time, I absolutely love to cook. And especially during this quarantine, so there's nothing else to do, we can't go outside. I've been cooking so much. And what really brings me and my support system together, because we're so close, is I think it's food. I love to feed people that I truly love in my heart. So when someone's over, there's a meal for them. When,
mhm,
like, I would always have a conversation over food than coffee because food tells you so much about somebody,
mhm, mhm,
what they like, who they are, how fast they eat, how what they eat first. It's quite interesting when you sit down and you think about the science behind food. It's not just something you put in your mouth to energize your body. It tells you so much about somebody.
mhm,
So I love the fact that food brings people that I love together and that I am able to show my affections of love to people that way.
mhm. Does Eat, Pray, Love ring a bell?
You know, eat, yes, pray. I need to do more praying as a Catholic, but and love, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing those stories along the way. So yeah, I don't know if I skipped a photo. No, I didn't. It looked like I did. But so tell us about this one. Where was it and when was it and what was this about?
So this was back in 2017, I believe. I I believe, yes.
Mhm,
And I did pageantry, and I went to Korea for this pageant. And I used to do actually run pageants here in Edmonton.
mhm,
But unfortunately, that wasn't my calling, and I didn't enjoy that world very much. So I
mhm,
left. But before I left, I did this pageant in Korea. And I had this opportunity because I was chosen to do so. And it was one of the toughest experiences of my life, I would say.
mhm,
Um, being sounding so glamorous and looking so glamorous all the time, it was hard. You were told, hey, you should eat this salad instead of the noodles because I need to see your ribs. Like, that's how skinny you need to be.
mhm,
And to be flat out front with you, I didn't understand. Like, not to kill the vibe or anything, but I didn't understand at that point when you're in that world that,
mhm,
hey, these things are wrong. And
mhm,
um, being in the pageantry world really taught me that you need to be more than beautiful in
mhm,
order to really win or even get anything yourself. I mean, most girls there, they all thought that, hey, beauty and talent is where it needs to be, beauty and talent.
mhm,
But I believe that that's not true. I believe that it needs to be true from your heart, that you're also trying to do this for a good reason and that it's helping you build your confidence, because pageantry can really rip you down or it can really build you up,
mhm,
especially if you don't win.
mhm,
And I got top 15 in here. So unfortunately, out of every single country, I did not win. That's
mhm,
okay.
mhm,
But it's really taught me that we're going to Korea and going to the pageant world, it's not all that beautiful. And really, we should really build each other up instead of compete with each other.
mhm,
So from pageantry, I've learned that each girl is so unique and so beautiful, and it's really made me appreciate beauty more than the physical,
mhm.
um, more than anything.
Yeah,
So it's really humbled me, I would say.
good
Most
life.
girls, yeah, it's a good life experience, and if someone were to ask me if I wanted to do it again, I would probably say never because but I am so glad I learned lessons of that beauty is so much more than just skin deep. And it sounds so cheesy, it really
Mhm,
does, but you can tell from a person, from their intentions, if they're truly a good person or not. And really, that's the people you want to keep in your life, right?
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. So was this the same place or?
Yes, that was the same place. So that was in Korea.
Mhm.
And pageantry is hard. I that's look at these photos now. I'm like, wow, I remember all the
Hey,
hardships I went to get there.
hey,
And
I see it says 2016. That's about the same year you launched one of your businesses,
is
right?
that 2016? I can't see. Yes. Yeah,
Right?
that is. So that was the same year I launched my business. So I left for 2 months. And that was also difficult because I left my business for 2 months. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. Yep, that was me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and each day we woke up so early, ended up at 1 a.m., and
Uh-huh.
there was no such thing as your own time. It was
Yeah.
and but sometimes they didn't even feed you. It was awful. It was just not good, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
don't recommend it.
Okay, I'm gonna advance to the other photos here because it's at the end, sort of random order. I'm gonna just prep it here. Give me a second. So tell us the whole. I'm gonna show you the photo of your cute baby. We'll start with that. Okay. So
Sounds
let's
good.
get into that. Tell us.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
look how cute he
Uh-huh.
is,
Look at
everybody.
that. Mhm.
So I never thought that I would be a mom so early. His name is Parker, my Lopez, and Parker is actually the last name of my step in laws, who is my husband's stepfather.
Mhm.
So Parker was fitting name to bring him in. His last name, his middle name is my last name, maiden last name, and Lopez is my husband's last name. So
Mhm.
his name really is important to our family.
Wow.
And he's 5 months old, and he's the spunkiest baby you'll meet. If you don't feed him fast enough, he'll scream to your face. He loves to jump. He loves avocados, and he's just the most jolly, a really jolly guy. You'll love him.
Mhm.
Um, to be honest, yeah, like I said, I never thought I'd be a mother so early. I mean, I always knew that wanted to be a mother.
Mhm.
But uh, something just clicked, like
Mhm.
I got married, I bought a house, and then I had a baby. So it felt like it was a good time
Mhm.
for me and my husband to do so.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, I was kind of sad because I had to let go of my company because of starting a family. And I really had to change my identity. So I wouldn't change the world for anything right now. But
Mhm.
being a mother and parent, as you know, Dune, you go from being not selfish, but everything is like everything circles around you and your time and what you want to do. And then after having a child, all that identity that you've built up from however whatever age erases, and basically this life depends on you.
Mhm.
And that also sounds cheesy, but it's true. Like, you can't do what you want anymore, and but at the same time, you get to build these new experiences and build a new you. And right now, I'm even still working on my identity right now as a
Mhm.
mother. I
Mhm.
struggle every day. I text my sister and I'm like, I struggle with my identity today. I don't know what I am. Sometimes I feel like I'm just this person who feeds this baby, who changes diapers, who plays with him, and that's all I do because I can't go out, especially during this quarantine. I can't do what I want. I can't see my friends. I can't build who I was before.
Mhm.
Um, but I wouldn't change it because having a life with him has taught me the true meaning of love as a
Mhm.
parent, and I love my parents so much more after
Mhm.
giving birth to this baby.
Yeah.
And I
You know,
appreciate, yeah,
you know what they say. One way to appreciate the value of something is to be clear about what it is that we're giving up to have this something. So in my mind, when we give up something, however awesome, in order to have something else equally or much more awesome, and if we're realizing that in fact, by giving up something else for this, we're probably more appreciative and more kind of able to squeeze all of the benefits out of it, right? So the fact that
exactly.
you have sort of given up some of the entrepreneurship for now. I think that should make you a little bit more appreciative of the time that you have with Parker, because really that choice there, is you're very aware of that choice, right?
Exactly. And I see Femi MP says, being a new mom, do you see yourself pursuing entrepreneurship again?
Hmm.
Um, and I just want to touch base on that. And I think I am. I really do. I do want another child, yes.
Hmm.
But these times with my child is so precious that I
Hmm.
think maybe by the time he hits school, I will hit entrepreneurship again. And I do have an idea
Hmm.
that I believe that I can pursue and be successful in.
Hmm.
But it just takes time and the right moment, and especially with the economy sinking right now, I don't think it's a good time to open up a business.
Hmm.
Um, but uh,
Yeah.
I do see myself doing it again because I can't see myself just giving up my entire life for my children because I believe that there needs to be a good balance.
Mhm.
And that I need to still do what I love, or else I think what's the point in living if you're not living for yourself as well, right?
You bet. It's gotta be a
Yeah.
good balance. So here's, the whole family here, this
Yeah.
by the new bridge.
Yes, the new bridge, exactly. The park is amazing. I love that park. Yeah, so our family during quarantine has really been focusing on just every day learning something new with Parker and
Mhm.
basically spending time with each other. Even though we can't do much, we
Mhm.
haven't killed each other yet, so it's
Hey,
good.
you bet. During, extreme times, we do use different measures, right? So,
Exactly.
here's Parker in his younger days.
Yeah, his younger days. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, if anybody's thinking of having a child here who's watching, the first 2.5 months is the hardest. Do you believe that? Like, you know that, dude, right? Like the
Mhm,
first months where they're just crying, crying, they're not sleeping at night, and you kind of just feel like this thing that's just feeding this baby, and you don't know what's going on. You're a new parent. It is tough, but after
mhm,
that, it's just so much fun. They're smiling, it's learn their personalities, they're sleeping
mhm.
through the night. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we'll look at a few more photos here. Here you are doing, some of your favorite activities, I guess.
Yeah, eating.
Yes. Uh, oh, do you have 2, pets or more?
I do. That's it. So there's my dog who snorts, as you heard,
Mhm,
and there's my cat. And I unexpectedly actually adopted them. They came into my lap, and I kind of just kept them. So that's Dobie the dog and Remy
mhm,
the cat.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, that's our wedding.
Somewhat traditional Vietnamese attire. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
Filipinos probably have similar, traditions as well, or no?
yeah, they do, but that's just a Vietnamese attire that we wore.
Mhm,
We also wore Filipino attire
mhm,
to play homage to both cultures.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us, when we think about, so in the early days, you were, um, actually, there's a couple of fun facts that you might want to share with our audience who might be surprised to learn. The one that I'm thinking about, uh, you might know the one that I'm thinking about. Do you have some fun facts that some people
All
might not
right.
know about you?
I think I
You know,
think I think
Hey,
I know which
Kendra
one you're
might or
talking
might not
about.
know. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, so from the age of 12 to 14 or 16, I can't remember. Sorry, it's like a big
Mhm,
blur. But from the age of 12, my parents were trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And to be quite honest with you, I did awful in school, dude. Like,
mhm.
school was just not my thing. I hated school. No matter
That's
how much I
a lot of
studied.
entrepreneurs are like that, and,
Yeah,
schools are not, right?
yeah, like however much I studied, I just wouldn't, I couldn't do it. I really couldn't. It just school was my thing. So my parents were like, why don't you try and see if your vocation is in the religious world?
Mhm,
And I said, what? And she said, you know what? I'm buying you a ticket to Texas and you're going to stay with these nuns for a week. And it's called Come and See.
mhm,
And you see if you like it, or it will just bring you closer to God. And my parents were hardcore, like Catholics. We went to church every Sunday.
mhm,
My parents were known in the community. And it was basically like the golden family situation.
mhm.
You understand.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. And that just wasn't me. But then I went, and being so young, you're influenced very easily back then. And I went every single year until I was like 16 or 15 or so. And one year I said, I'm going to become a nun. This is my vocation. I can feel it, like God is calling me. And I was about to become a nun, and I said, Mom, you need to sign these papers so that I can live with these nuns, because they need to sign over guardianship and things like that. And my dad was all for it. My dad was like, yes, like you go. I'm so proud of you to have a nun in the family. This is great. We're so
Mhm.
blessed. God has blessed us.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, what did you say? You're my baby. Like, that's not happening. Like, you're 16. You don't know what you want. I'm not going to do it. And I was crying to her. I remember crying and saying, I hate you, Mom. Like, I need to follow God. I hate you. I'm never talking to you again.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mm.
And she goes, no, like, I'm not signing these papers at all. And then I am so glad, Dune, that she did not sign those papers because by the time I was 18, I was following boys in and out of the door. So,
Mhm.
um,
Yes.
but the reason why I'm so grateful because it has brought me closer to my religion and it has
Mhm.
really taught me that there are less fortunate out there that need help. And I think that's where I get my need to help people is because
Mhm.
because of these my past is that these nuns have really showed me that there are less fortunate out there.
Mhm.
So as you probably would have known, I did this fundraiser to help children who unfortunately don't have food on the table, and we donated $1,300 to Crystal Kids within 48 hours.
Mhm.
And I'm continuing to work with these programs and foundations to keep it going because I believe that during these times, kids are vulnerable, kids can't defend for themselves, and we need to help them out. So that's probably my biggest inspiration is my past for helping out these kids.
Mhm. Mhm. So, another interesting fact that you might want to share is, uh, you met the Pope at some point in your, life cycle. Share the story. What did you, take away from that?
You're gonna love this one too.
Mhm.
So we were in Europe, so during our honeymoon, like I was saying in Rome,
Mhm.
and we're in the Vatican, and there's this long lineup. And my husband goes, "What's this lineup for?" And I go, "I don't know, but I'm gonna go over here and take some pictures." And he
Mhm.
stands in line, and he quickly waves me over, and he says, "You need to get here now." So I run over, and these guys go, "You with this group?" And my husband looks very dark, so he looks Cuban almost, and he
Mhm.
goes, "Yes, I'm with this Cuban group." And then we
Mhm.
kind of just snuck in with the Cuban group.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then we found out it was for meeting the Pope.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so we end up meeting the Pope, and there was a whole mass ceremony, and it was out of the blue. I mean, like it. It's like meeting. It's hard to say for some people who aren't Catholic, but it's like meeting, I don't know, Celine Dion for the first time. It's that shock that you're meeting somebody that you never thought you'd meet. You see them all over, and I was really blessed to have that opportunity.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Now, I want, these photos might be in recent years, but I wanna just, have you speak about the story behind them. So I'm gonna bring it up here. Tell us more.
About that. Okay. So that was for the notebook. And at that point, I remember Kendra being here with me, Kendra doing my makeup that day. um, and um, that day was actually very shocking for me. I know, I'm not sure if it has anything to do with this, but I remember finding out that I was pregnant the night before this day with Parker. And I was full of joy. I was excited that my business has been featured in top 100 businesses to do business with. Um, but at the same time, I was in shock that all this was happening. And this was probably my peak of my confidence, where I was like, I'm on top of the world right now, and I can't believe I'm here. But during this time as well, I was launching a program to put also women's shelters to give them part of our profits. So we were dealing with a whole bunch of women's shelters, and we were giving our profits, 10% of our profits to them. And this photo shoot we used for the campaigning photos as well. Oh, I lost Dune. Oh, hello. Oh, I lost Dune.
Here we go. I was
Okay.
I was just saying, tell us about the thought around the mirror. What was your thought there in terms of, involving the mirror in the photo shoot?
Well, one, makeup, because you always need a photo for makeup, but also
Mhm.
self reflection, because self reflection is so incredibly important to me. It's gotten me where I am today, and to reflect on the negative, the positive, um, and really show who you are, to be raw and real with yourself
Mhm.
was the inspiration behind this photo.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing the various uh, segment of your journey there. As
Mhm.
you look forward, I know you'll continue to do work with the community in terms of helping the less fortunate. Let me get back on online here. Uh, what's your vision for the next few years? Obviously focusing on Parker and the family, and I know you built a new house there that you'll kind of
Yeah.
finishing landscaping and things like that.
So the new vision, of course, is to have another baby. But other than that, I actually am really looking forward to working with foundations, front hand, like frontline, to raise more money
Mhm,
for children because I believe that the children are the future. And I've been fortunate enough to have a good childhood, and I want other kids to feel safe and comfortable where they are.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I've been actually talking to a couple of foundations and hopefully doing a yearly annual event to raise money for these kids. This past one I did was just a small one. I did by myself. It was just
mhm,
kind of a tester to see if I could handle the pressure and you know, help these foundations out.
mhm,
And since that was successful, I will continue to actually apply these skills to help these foundations and maybe become one of the part of the organization as well.
mhm. Absolutely. So, in other words, um, focusing on the organizational skills, the management skills, and the leadership skills and communication skills, but applied towards a sort of again helping the community, giving back, if you will.
Exactly. And it sounds so cheesy, but um, it's not it's not basically helping the just helping the community, but it's helping the future.
Hmm, hmm.
Because if you spread kindness, kindness will continue to spread. And so that's what I'm going for.
Absolutely. So as you look out further out, so 20 years. Let's look 20 years out, if you can imagine. 20 years out, what might that look like? If you can just paint a picture.
Winning the lottery and moving away. No, 20 years out. I really hope to actually have my own business and not a business to just create more money like a restaurant or anything, but a business to like create my own organization. So, or my own organization where I am the founder and I am helping out the people that I want to.
Mhm,
Like you've heard of, like I know in the Vietnamese community, there's lots of Vietnamese communities that help out communities back in Vietnam, but I solely want to focus on a foundation, a nonprofit organization that I will organize with the help of my husband and the people around me
mhm,
to help kids here in Edmonton, less fortunate
mhm.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a 20 years, and I hope to teach my kids that they are lucky and that they should also be spreading the love. So I hope in 20 years that they help me in the footsteps.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
as we're rounding the corner here on the lunch hour time,
Yeah.
any final story you want to share before we wrap up?
You know, no final story, but I just want to thank you so much for having me and being able to share my story and
Hmm,
how I got to where I am today. And all these people who have been watching this whole entire time, thank you
hmm,
so much.
hmm,
And I am extremely blessed to have this opportunity to talk to you, Dune. I know
hmm,
that we've had coffee a couple times and it's been
hmm.
great. But yeah,
Yes. So let's do this one final thing. If I ask you to kind of reflect and share three words, not even sentences, but words, three words that you want our viewers now and later to take away from this conversation, what would those three words be? Kind of top of mind three words.
this also sounds super cheesy. Like I'm just gonna say the cheesiest words, but it's
Go
gonna
ahead.
work. Um, One would be kindness,
Hmm.
humility, like humble humility, and confidence.
Kindness, humility, and confidence.
Yeah.
That's an awesome set there.
it kind of like
Oh,
Uh,
you know, it's a great mix. In fact, in one of my presentations, I talk about, you have real power when you have confidence mixed with the right dosage of humility, right? So
exactly.
confidence
Yeah.
balance off with humility is very powerful. And when you apply kindness to that, you can really be a positive impact for the world and for your family and your friends and for yourself. So I
Exactly.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for having me.
Thank you so much, TC. Again, TC Lopez from the Edmonton area, a evolving entrepreneur into new mother, and uh, all of the things that entail in this journey here, and coming back to entrepreneurship at some point soon here, and also focusing more on community and giving back and doing the good work there. So. Thank you, Lawrence. We have some of my friends chiming in as well here. Do you see that comment meant there?
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It means so much.
You bet. So thanks, Lawrence. Again, thank you so much, TC, and thank you to our viewers now and later. And take good care of yourself, everyone. Good care of yourself. Take good care of one another. And till we meet again, have a wonderful day.
Bye.